Did you hear about the Morgans? If you haven't heard of this film, I am really pleased to be the person today to introduce you to this. I feel like a lot of people have seen it, but what I'm very surprised at is how low the rating is on IMDb. Now, IMDb ratings are usually a lot harsher than the average person's opinion, which doesn't make sense because it is an average, but I often find that most people tend to not agree with these that much. 4.9 out of 10. Not even 5 out of 10. I would have given this a 6+. Thoroughly enjoyed it. The film was released in 2009, written and directed by Marc and stars the fabulous Sarah Jessica Parker and Hugh Grant as Meryl and Paul Morgan. We also have a really great cast throughout, a lot of supporting cast, and some really brilliant characters, actually. There are some really interesting supporting characters in this, and that's rarely the case with this kind of film. This is a rom-com, also a bit of a drama. I think it balances the dramatic with the funny very well. And basically this is about the Morgans, who have to enter the witness protection program after they witness a murder, and they ended up going to a small town in Wyoming. They are from New York City, and they're going to a tiny little town in Wyoming. The culture shock is quite something, and it's very entertaining, and obviously it's all about them stepping into their new lives, their new roles under the witness protection program. And as a concept, I love that. I love anything that deals with witness protection. I think it's such a fascinating trope for a narrative. There's so much you can do with it. And when it's done well, like I believe it is done here with Did You Hear About the Morgans, I think it's pretty great. I really like it. It's not the most unpredictable. I'm not going to sit here and say that the narrative was gripping from start to finish and that I had no idea where it was going. But at the same time, there were things that came up that I wasn't expecting, certain styles of comedy that I hadn't expected. The development of the characters were not as predictable as I'd have thought, which is really great. Obviously, Hugh Grant and Sarah Jessica Parker are brilliant. The characters get into some unexpected situations. I also like that the narrative got to the point quite quickly. It didn't drag on. It wasn't setting itself up forever. The pacing was really good. 4.9 out of 10. Why? I just don't get that. I think it was quite entertaining. I don't think it was laugh out loud funny a lot of the time, but it is a comedy drama. Maybe people were watching this expecting the most hilarious rom-com ever, and especially with a dream team like Sarah Jessica Parker and Hugh Grant. But it does have its more dramatic moments, and maybe that's not what people were wanting from this film. If it was just a straight-up comedy, I think it would have also worked. But blending the slightly more serious aspect, I think, works really well. The casting's great. The comedy is funny. As I said, I can't remember if I actually ever laughed out loud, but I'm not the biggest laugh out louder, or laugher out loud, I don't know. But I thoroughly enjoyed it from start to finish, and as I said, I love the concept of a narrative revolving around the witness protection program. So for me, this just really ate into everything that I love. For me, 6.5. Let's go with 6.5. Definitely don't agree with the IMDb rating. Is it my favourite Hugh Grant film? No. If I'm not a big fan of a lot of his films compared to what a lot of other people think. So maybe they were expecting something like a lot of his other work, but I feel this one's a little bit different. I really like it. If you hadn't heard about the Morgans, please check out the film. Hopefully you won't be disappointed.